All right, so you're here because, like everyone else in the NFL universe, you saw that the Chargers just straight up released Joey Bosa.
Yeah.
And it's not every day that a team lets go of a five-time Pro Bowler. So we're going to be diving into this article, Los Angeles Chargers release Joey Bosa, why it happened, and trying to figure out, well, why did it happen?
Yeah, definitely a lot to unpack.
It's got to be more than just money, right?
Right. You would think so.
He's one of the best pass rushers in the league.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's, I guess, start with his track record. 72 sacks, 5 Pro Bowls, like I said. He's been a force.
He has, and I think, beyond just the raw numbers, he was the 3rd overall pick back in 2016, won Defensive Rookie of the Year. And for a long time, it was actually the longest tenured Charger.
Oh, wow.
So, this isn't just some random player they decided to cut. This was a guy who had been, a cornerstone of their franchise.
Yeah, he's been a part of their identity for so long.
Right. Exactly. And I think when you talk about his impact, it goes beyond just the sacks themselves. I mean, he was a constant disruption to opposing offenses.
Right.
His presence alone forced teams to change their blocking schemes, which opened up opportunities for other guys on that Chargers defense.
So you're saying it's kind of like a ripple effect.
Exactly.
Take away a guy like that, and the whole defense has to adjust.
Absolutely. And I think that's something the Chargers are going to have to figure out going forward.
For sure. But you can't ignore the elephant in the room here, right?
Yeah, the money.
25.3, $6 million.
It's a big number.
That's a huge chunk of change freed up against their salary cap.
Right. And it's not unusual for teams to make moves to save money, but, releasing a player of Bosa's caliber, that's a pretty big statement.
It is.
I mean, it seems like they're really prioritizing the future over the present, even if it means losing a star player right now.
Right. And speaking of the future, that $36.4 million cap hit in 2025.
Ooh.
That's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, that's a big one. And I think that's probably a major factor in this decision.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like he's been the picture of health lately either.
Right. And that's the other big piece of this puzzle, his injury history.
Yeah. I mean, 14-plus games in a season, only 4 times.
And only 18 starts in the past 3 years.
It's rough.
It is. And I think that's where the Chargers had to make a really tough decision.
Yeah.
When Bosa's healthy, he's one of the best in the game.
No question.
But with those recurring injuries, that huge contract starts to look like a pretty big gamble.
A gamble they weren't willing to take anymore, it seems like.
Apparently not.
So where does this leave Bosa? I mean, he's turning 30 this summer, but there's got to be some gas left in the tank, right?
Oh, absolutely. Age is just a number, especially for elite pass rushers.
Okay.
And even with the injuries, Bosa's still considered top tier.
So you think teams are still going to be interested?
Oh, I think they'll be lining up.
Wow.
Yeah. Free agency is going to be very interesting for him.
Speaking of interesting, I got to ask about the possibility of him joining his brother Nick on the 49ers.
The Bosa brothers reunited.
Right. Could you imagine that pass rush?
I mean, it's a fun thought for sure. And, 49er fans are probably already dreaming about it.
Oh, I bet they are.
But ultimately, it comes down to what Bosa wants. He's going to go where he sees the best fit for his career. And, of course, the money matters, too.
Yeah, of course. So this whole situation, it's a wild ride. A surprise release, a team trying to get their finances in order, the risk of injuries always looming, and a star player's future up in the air. It's a lot.
It is, and it really highlights the complexities of the NFL.
For sure. So what do you think is the biggest takeaway from all this?
I think it's a reminder that even the best players in the league aren't immune to the business side of things. The Chargers had a tough choice to make, and they went with long-term stability over keeping a star player in the short term.
It really makes you wonder how they're going to fill that void on defense, though. And which team is going to roll the dice on Bosa, hoping he can stay healthy and get back to dominating.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see how this all plays out.
It really is. All right. Thanks for breaking it all down with me.
Anytime.
And for everyone listening, make sure you stay tuned, because this story is far from over.
For sure.
We'll be back with more deep dive soon.
See you then.
All right.
Bye.